What if everything you've been searching for has been sitting inside you this whole time? Not in a vacation, not in a promotion, not when the kids grow up or the bills are paid. Right here, right now, in this very breath. Tonight, I'm going to tell you the story of a man who had everything the world told him he needed, and felt completely empty. And I'm going to show you the moment that changed everything for him. Get comfortable. Let your body sink a little deeper into wherever you are. And just listen. His name was Daniel, 43 years old. A beautiful house on a quiet street. A good job. A family who loved him. A calendar full of plans. And every single morning, he woke up feeling like something was missing. He couldn't name it. He'd tried. He'd bought things that didn't fill it. He'd worked harder to outrun it. He'd scrolled through his phone late at night hoping to stumble across it by accident. But the feeling stayed. Then one autumn morning, something happened that would change the entire course of his life. He was running late, as usual, rushing past the small park near his office, coffee in hand, phone in the other, mind already in a meeting that hadn't started yet. And he almost stepped on an old man sitting cross-legged on the grass. The man's eyes were closed. His hands rested open on his knees. A faint smile, not forced, not fake, just peaceful, like nothing in the world could bother him. Daniel stopped. He didn't know why. He was late. He had no reason to stop, but something about that man's face made him forget, just for a second, every single thing on his to-do list. Daniel almost kept walking, but instead, he sat down on a nearby bench. After a few minutes, the old man opened his eyes. He looked at Daniel the way you look at someone you've known your whole life. "You look tired," the old man said. Not unkindly, just truthfully. "I'm fine," Daniel said. Automatically, without thinking. The old man smiled. That's what people say when they're not. Daniel laughed, a short, surprised laugh. I don't know. I feel like I'm always running. Like there's never enough time. Like I should be happier than I am." The old man nodded slowly. "You know what the problem is?" Daniel waited. "You are living your life in the gap." The gap. The space between where you are and where you think you should be. Most people live their entire lives in that gap, always waiting to arrive somewhere they can finally be happy. But that place, it never comes. Daniel stared at him. Something in those words landed differently than anything he'd heard before. The old man reached into a worn canvas bag and pulled out a small thermos and 2 simple clay cups. "Tea," he offered. Daniel, who had never once accepted tea from a stranger in a park, said yes. As they sat quietly for a moment, the old man poured. Slowly, deliberately, like the act of pouring tea was the most important thing in the world right now. "The first cup," the man said, "is for the body. Feel the warmth of it, the weight of the cup in your hands. You're here. You're real. This moment is real." Daniel held the cup. He felt its warmth against his palms. "The second cup is for the mind. Let it be still just for a moment. Not empty. Still. Like the surface of a lake when the wind stops." Daniel took a slow breath. "The third cup," the old man said, pausing, "is for the heart. This one you drink when you realize, without any conditions, without any achievements, that you are already enough." They sat in silence. A leaf fell from a nearby maple. Somewhere a bird called out twice and went quiet. Daniel felt something shift inside him. Small but real. Over the next few weeks, Daniel returned to the park every morning. The old man, whose name, he learned, was Henry, had spent 30 years studying Zen philosophy. Not in books. In living. in a monastery in Kyoto for 10 years, then back home in ordinary life, raising kids, paying bills, losing a wife to illness, and somewhere in all of it, finding a peace that nothing could shake. One morning Daniel asked him, "Don't you ever feel sad? Angry? Worried?" Henry laughed warmly. "Every day. I'm not a statue, Daniel. I'm human." "Then how are you so calm?" Henry picked up a small stone from the path. "Imagine carrying this stone in your fist. All day. Every day. Never putting it down." "It would get heavy," Daniel said. "That's what most of us do with our worries. We pick them up and never put them down. We think if we let go, something bad will happen. But holding on doesn't stop bad things. It just means you're exhausted when they arrive." He opened his hand. The stone sat in his palm. "This stone hasn't changed. But in my open hand, it weighs almost nothing." That night, Daniel went home and sat at the kitchen table after dinner. His wife was reading. His daughter was drawing something with colored pencils, her tongue pressed to the corner of her mouth the way it always did when she was concentrating. He had seen this scene 1,000 times before. But tonight, he looked at it differently. He noticed the sound of the pencil on paper, the way the lamp made a golden circle on the table, the smell of dish soap still in the air, his wife occasionally turning a page. He thought, "This is my life. This is the thing I keep rushing past." He didn't say anything dramatic. He didn't announce a change. He just arrived. Into the room. Into the moment. Into his own life. His daughter looked up and smiled at him for no reason. He smiled back. And for the first time in a very long time, the empty feeling was gone. Months passed. Life didn't become perfect. It never does. Daniel lost a client that year. He and his wife went through a hard stretch, a few months of distance and miscommunication that scared them both. His father's health declined. But something was different now. He went back to Henry one afternoon after a particularly brutal week. "I feel like I'm failing at everything," Daniel told him. Henry was quiet for a moment. Then he pointed to an old oak tree at the edge of the park. "How old do you think that tree is?" "I don't know. 100 years maybe. It's been through 100 winters, 100 storms. Some of them took branches. Some left scars. But the roots just kept growing deeper." He paused. "The storms didn't destroy that tree, Daniel. They're why it's still standing." Daniel looked at the tree for a long time. He thought about his roots, his values, the kind of person he was trying to be quietly every day. Not perfectly, but honestly. He realized the storms weren't breaking him. They were deepening him. One evening, Henry gave Daniel a small assignment. Write a letter to yourself, but not to the you that exists today. Write it to the version of you that's 5 years younger, the one who was just starting to feel lost. Daniel sat with it for 2 days before he could write it. When he finally did, here is part of what he wrote. "You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not failing to be happy the right way. You're just looking for it in the wrong place, outside of yourself in the future, in the approval of people who are also looking outside themselves. The happiness you're chasing? It doesn't arrive on a particular day. It's not a destination. It's a practice. Like breathing. Like walking. You do it again and again, not perfectly, but consistently. And the moments you think don't matter, the morning coffee, the car ride home, the sound of rain on a window, those are the moments your life is made of. Don't miss them waiting for the big ones." He folded the letter and kept it in his desk drawer. He never needed to read it again, because writing it had changed something in him permanently. The last time Daniel saw Henry in the park, It was an early spring morning. The grass was wet. There was a mist hanging low across the ground. Birds were beginning to return. Henry told him he was moving. His daughter had a new baby across the country, and he wanted to be nearby. They walked to the edge of the park together in comfortable silence. Before they parted, Daniel asked him, "What is it, actually? The Zen art of happiness? If you had to say it simply." Henry thought for a moment. "It's the decision, and it is a decision, to stop waiting for your life to become what you think it should be, and to start living the one that's actually in front of you. Fully, with all its mess and beauty and ordinary moments. To want what you already have. To be where you already are." He put his hand on Daniel's shoulder. "The art is not complicated. It just takes practice. And you've already started." They shook hands. Henry walked away slowly, hands in his pockets, still smiling that unhurried smile. Daniel stood there for a moment. The mist, the birds, the sound of the city waking up in the distance. He took a breath in, and let it go completely. He was already home. And now, as this story settles around you like a warm blanket, let your breath slow down. Let your thoughts drift, like clouds passing across a quiet sky. You don't have to figure anything out tonight. You don't have to fix anything or plan anything. You're allowed to just be here. In this moment. In this breath. The happiness you're looking for isn't somewhere else. It's been waiting for you patiently, in the spaces between your thoughts. Let yourself arrive. You're already home.